Hello, welcome to Pursuit of Perfect System. How are you all doing? It's that time of year again, isn't it, where we all go back to work and start thinking about that long year ahead. But what about last year? Last year's only just finished. And what were your highlights of 2019? Quite clearly, your main highlights of last year was watching all 250 plus of my videos. And if you had any time left over from that, hopefully you managed to squeeze in 5 minutes here or there to listen to some music. And if you did, that's probably 4 more minutes than I managed. So what was the first album that impressed me from last year? Now, I'm quite a big Tracy Chapman fan. I've always had a bit of a thing for certain albums and songs of hers. I'm sure you all know the ones that I'm talking about. And Qobuz recommended an artist called J.S. Ondara, who sounds a little bit like Tracy Chapman. Her album is Tales of America. There's 2 albums actually on Qobuz, but I think the second coming is more of like a deluxe album. That's the one I've generally listened to. And the music style is a little bit unusual, really. I don't know if it's folk music or if you might call it soul country. I don't even really know what category it would come under, because it is really quite a unique style, but it reminds me a little bit of Tracy Chapman. It's got that kind of soul to it, but maybe it's a little bit more bluesy than Tracy Chapman's more commercial stuff. Anyway, it's a really interesting album. It's a really good album, and I think my favourite track on the album is probably Television Girl, which I think is track 5. So I suggest, give that one a listen. Have a listen to it if you haven't already. There'll be a link below the video to go and buy the album. I've actually bought this album on CD because I enjoyed it that much, and I'm going to look forward to listening to that off of my music server. On that note, if you use the links below the video, they'll take you straight to Amazon. It won't cost you a bean more, but it gives us a tiny little bit of support, or gives the channel, sorry, a tiny little bit of support, and I really appreciate that. Moving on to the second album, again, a Qobuz Discovery recommendation, and that is an album called Voodoo Sonic by an artist, I think, called Pavrov Stella. Now, it's a bit of an unusual album. I'd say it's electronic music, but with a very much a funky twist. And I don't mean like a normal funky house twist. It's really quite unusual mixture. It seems like there's a bit of swing in there as well. It's really quite an unusual mix. But there's 4 tracks on the album. I think the album's only about 25 minutes long, something like that. I think it's only a part 1 of an album as well. But it's just really good fun. It's lively, it's good fun. I started off really liking track 2, then I graduated to liking track 1 more, and I think I like track 3 the best, but track 4, you can keep that one. So yeah, Voodoo Sonic, that'll be another recommendation for you to go and have a listen to. Neither of those 2 albums I would class as my albums of the year, despite enjoying them very much. My first album of the year is quite an interesting one, really, because it reminds me of a cross between London Grammar and Florence and the Machine, and it's an album by the artist Freya Riders, and the album is called Freya Riders. And I've used one of the tracks off the album as a demo song for some of the demonstration videos that I've made over the last couple of months. It's very London Grammar-esque in terms of got big female vocals and kind of atmospheric music, quite a lot of reverb on the vocal as well, but it's got a rawness to it, which is more the Florence and Machine aspect, or the bit that reminds me of the Florence and Machine. But it's quite an epic and emotional album, big ballady type album, which is just enjoyable, very nice to listen to. You know, I've enjoyed that album a lot, both here in the review system and actually in the car as well. So yeah, Freya Riders is definitely one of my albums of the year. And again, there'll be a link below the video to go and buy the album. I've actually bought that one on CD. For my final album recommendation, and really this is probably my album of the year, and I think that's because it's a little bit different, or different style of music for me. Again, this was a Qobuz Discovery recommendation. I'll tell you what happened. I was setting up the tune top speakers behind me. I just needed some music to play, so I went on the Qobuz app on my phone. I synced it via Bluetooth to, at the time, I think the Audio Lab 6000A, just to see if the speakers were working. Went flicking through Qobuz, saw that cover art behind me, and I was like, well, let's give that a try. And yeah, I pressed play, sat there listening for about half an hour. I was like, right, I'm really enjoying this style of music, and it was sounding fantastic. Funnily enough, that £600 amplifier was sounding fantastic through the Wilson Audio tune tops behind me. So I then took the album with me in the car, and for some reason I didn't enjoy it anywhere near as much in the car as I did on the Wilson Audio tune tops. And you're probably laughing and saying, of course not, Terry. But it wasn't that. I mean, I've listened to the album since. I'll tell you what it is. On Qobuz, the main version of the album is 2444.1, so just slightly higher than CD quality. But I had Qobuz set to drop down to MP3 quality when I'm not streaming from Wi-Fi, and I think that was it, really. I think for this particular album, the MP3 version sounds pretty rough. And the name of the album is Mundo Deo Bang. You can see the album there behind me. And I like the album so much that I even bought it on vinyl. And the reason I bought it on vinyl is because that now makes me a true audiophile. So my suggestion is, if you're going to give this album a try and get the full fat version, 4424, and listen to that, because it's a rock type album mixed with a little bit of indie, with some other little bits in there as well. One of the tracks actually reminds me of the really excellent TV series Peaky Blinders, and I wonder if any of you know the album, you might even know the track that I'm talking about. So those are 4 albums I recommend you go and check out, and there'll be links below the video for all of them, and I'm sure you'll find all of them on the streaming services if you don't want to purchase them. But the reason I've made this video, and the reason I'm kind of asking this bit now, is I think this could be a really useful video for the community, i.e. you guys, to leave your albums or best albums of 2019 or 2018 if you feel you want to include them, and that everybody that then checks that out, they can get free recommendations of albums to go and find. Because if you want to sign up to Qobuz, it's going to cost you £25 a month. So it's cost me £25 a month to discover these albums for me and for you. I figured you guys can pay me back with some recommendations for free. Leave your albums of the year for 2019, and that way we can all check them out, discover new music to enjoy and listen to, because that is half the battle and that is also half the fun. The other half is finding new ways to get better audio, and that's what I'm here for. Thanks very much for watching, and thanks very much for doing that. There's lots of great stuff coming for Pursuit of Perfect System in 2020. I'm still clearing a bit of backlog from 2019, but once that's out of the way, there's some really big stuff coming for 2020, and I hope you'll stick around to see it and enjoy it. And on that note, if you want to stick around and to see it and enjoy it, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, thumbs up this video because I'm sure you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.